Now, there are so many people out there who really and truly want to live healthy, happy marriages, but their habits, their behaviors go directly against that thing that they say they want. And so in this video, I'm going to be pointing out 5 habits that can actively wreck a marriage, whether or not you are aware of it. And honestly, number 5 on this list is something that so many people do without even being aware that they are doing it. You may have even done it this morning without knowing. So stick around, watch this video to the very end so that you can find out if you're actively working against your marriage without even knowing it. The first thing on my list today is comparison. Hey, you see this one? It's very crucial. A lot of people compare their partners to their moms, their ex-girlfriends, their sisters, their friends' wives, or their friends' husbands, or their fathers, or somebody that is not their partner. And then, without knowing, they begin to resent their partners because their partners are not living up to what that other person has. Let me give you an example. A woman who says or thinks to herself that her husband is not like her friend's husband who gives her friend 500,000 to 1 million every single month. Or her husband is not like her friend's husband who washes the dishes every day in the house. And so she comes home and begins to look at her husband like someone who is not adequate. Even though before she heard about that, her friend's husband, she was actually happy with her husband and the way he contributes his own quota in the home. But now, because she has another frame of reference, her husband is suddenly inadequate. And this cuts both ways for both man and woman. A man may also see another woman who is very fashionable, very out there, outspoken, and all of that. And he goes back home and begins to look at his wife as inadequate because she's more reserved, she's more conservative with her dressing, and suddenly the wife who he met and married this way is no longer enough. And you know the very bad thing about comparison? You wouldn't even realize that you have begun to treat your partner differently in a bad way just because you have compared them to someone else. It actually sneaks up on you. But then your marriage begins to crack. You begin to have issues, not because your partner is bad in themselves, but because you're measuring them against someone else. So comparison is a huge factor that wrecks marriages. The second one is assumption. Yes, you may be on this table, so pay attention. A lot of people assume, number one, they assume that their partners are a certain way without even confirming whether or not that assumption is true. And that's why you would hear women say things like, I know I've not caught him cheating, but all men cheat, therefore he must be cheating as well. Or you hear men say things like, all women are gold diggers, therefore I'm going to hide my finances from my wife so that she does not eat me down or something like that. Assuming that your partner is a particular way just because people have said that that gender is that way is something that kills marriages even today. Another assumption that is really terrible is you assuming your partner should know something that you want without even telling them verbally. So many people will say things like, but he should know that I needed his help, or she should know that a man needs sex. You have not verbalized your need, but you assume that they should know. Because you people have been married for a number of years, therefore they should know. You don't now take into account that people are thinking of so many different things, or they may have forgotten, or they may think that you liked it yesterday doesn't mean you will like it today. There are so many different reasons people don't do the things that we expect them to do. So rather than assume and then begin to act in that light of your assumption, how about you talk to them? How about you communicate? How about you actually tell them what it is you need, what it is you desire, what it is you expect of them? Number 3 is taking your partner for granted. Yes, so a lot of people do this. And that's why we have things like people beating their partners, domestic violence. Yes, it's because you're taking your partner for granted. Because your boss in the office will do that exact same thing that your partner did to you. And you will not beat them all. But when you get home, because your partner, you've seen them finish, They are now too familiar. They are yours. You treat them anyhow. You beat them. That is taking your partner for granted. Or your partner does things for you. They serve you in so many different ways, and you do not show your appreciation. You do not say thank you. This one, I see it a lot in the comment sections of posts, in posts that people make on social media. Why should I say thank you to him for paying the house rent? Is that not his responsibility? That is you taking your partner for granted. Why should I say thank you to her for taking care of the children? Is that not her responsibility? That is you taking your partner for granted. Because if this wasn't your partner, if it was someone else that you held in high esteem, you will support them. So people take their partners for granted so much. And that is why we have the sorts of issues we have in many marriages. So you need to go back and think about it in your own unique situation. How have I been taking my partner for granted? How have I been treating them in a way I would not treat someone else that I hold in high regard? Tell yourself the truth. And that truth will not just set you free, but would help you rebuild your marriage and take your marriage to greater heights. Now, the fourth way you can actively ruin your marriage is through communication erosion. When you stop talking to your partner, when you now make communication a high table thing, we only discuss important things. Both of you have become logistics managers of the home. You only talk about things that concern the children or home affairs or stuff like that. You people no longer talk about your goals, your dreams, your fears, your desires, your fantasies even. You people no longer communicate about the things that this person did that you don't like. You don't tell them what it is you want them to do more of and what it is you want them to do less of. You don't tell them the things that they did that hurt you and the things that they did that you absolutely loved. When you people begin to reduce your communication or only communicate in certain areas but not in others, that is a sure way to wreck your marriage. Those things that you don't talk to your partner about, you're going to find someone else that you're going to talk to about those things, because every human being is a social creature. And so we need to have certain communications or certain conversations with people. And when you're not having it with your partner, you will find someone else to have it with. And many times that someone else becomes the person that you're going to cheat with. And once that cheating has come into the relationship, don't you see that Yawa has gassed, like we say here in Nigeria? So communication erosion is a sure way to wreck a marriage. And last but not the least is listening to wrong counsel. You see this one? I mentioned it earlier. You may be doing it without even knowing. In this day and age of social media, a lot of people do this. A lot of people read and take in wrong counsel and then go home and begin to act towards their partner in ways that their partners do not deserve. So you come on social media and you see a post that says, don't show your husband how much you love him. If not, he will begin to take you for granted. And you don't even realize that that post has gone into your mind, into your unconscious, and has changed something in there. All you now see is you beginning to withhold love and affection from your husband because you don't want him to take you for granted. Or you read somewhere on social media where they said, women are very materialistic. If a woman knows exactly how much you earn, she's going to keep asking and asking and asking until all your money is gone. And then you soak it in and you go home and you begin to hide things from your wife without even knowing that it's that post that you read that is making you act in this way. Not as if your partner has shown you any reason to believe that they are those kind of people. Listening to wrong counsel, whether online or offline, is a sure way for you to wreck your marital relationship. And we're not even going to talk about these people that keep very terrible friends who tell them all sorts of things about marriage and they go home and begin to act out towards their partners. So we all need to begin to guard our hearts and our minds like the Bible admonished us to do. Guard the kinds of things that you listen to, the kinds of information you take in, the kinds of conversations that you agree to have with people, because all of these things are data, information that our mind takes in, and you do not know where it will now go into and begin to cause havoc. So please be aware. Everything you read, sieve. Everything you see or hear, challenge. Don't just take things on face value and just say, I just saw it and I scrolled past. You don't know the havoc that that thing can create in your mind and by extension, your marriage. So I hope this has helped someone out there today, in as much as all of us are working actively to have a happy, successful home. We must really pay attention to these 5 things. Don't compare your partner with anyone else. And I don't care who that person may be. Don't assume that your partner is something that they have not proven to be, or don't also assume that they should know something that you've not told them about. Number 3, don't take your partner for granted. If you know the way you would treat someone who you hold in high esteem, please treat your partner like that. If you know the way you will talk to someone you hold in high esteem, please talk to your partner like that. Don't take them for granted. Number 4, don't allow communication to erode in your home. Communicate about everything, every single thing. There is nothing that is too trivial to be talked about. And finally, don't listen to wrong counsel, consciously or unconsciously. Be very aware and also be very intentional about the kinds of people you follow on social media, the kinds of things that show up on your feed. Yes, we can choose what we want to see on our feeds. You need to be very intentional about this. Also, be very intentional about the kinds of friends you keep and the kinds of conversations you engage in, because all of these things that we soak in have a way of bypassing our consciousness to go into our unconsciousness to begin to change things in us that we are not even aware of. And then we may begin to act in a way that will be the opposite of the happy home that we really want to have. Now, tell me which of these 5 things really resonated with you. Let me know in the comments. Also, I know that this is not an exhaustive list, so let me know what else should be added to this list. What is that thing that could wreck a marriage and people are not very, very aware of it? Also, I would like to ask that you share this video with anyone you know who is married. You just never know what that person is battling with and how this video could help them make a difference that will change their lives and their marriages. So don't just think about it. Just click the share button and share this in your WhatsApp groups or to a specific person that you know and love. Also, subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, because your subscription tells me that you support the work I'm doing to help people be and do better in life and in marriage. So please click that subscribe button and become a member of my family. My name is Amaka Chibuzo-Obi. I'm a marriage educator, a confidence coach, but most importantly, a woman who wants other women to live happy, successful, meaningful, and purposeful lives. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Until then, take care, stay safe, and God bless you.